You push into the campus career fair. Fluorescent lights hum, lines curl around booths, and your folder creases in your hand. You are here because last summer's internship did not convert. You stayed late, sent notes, fixed slides, and still got the polite email. Loved having you. No headcount. Good luck this fall. So you print fresh resumes and start again. You stop at a bank table you only know from glass towers on the skyline. Major. Internship. Why finance? Why them? A recruiter smiles and drops a card with a code on your folder. You step away with a mint and a maybe. You loop the room. More cards, more logos, then a familiar face. Timmy. First semester freshman year. He was pledging while you carried a group project he never showed up for. You built his slides so the team would pass. He said he owed you one. Today, he remembers. His parents sit high in finance and his path is already paved. He offers to connect you with people at their bank. He says it like a small favor. It lands like a parachute. You send your resume that night. Interviews get scheduled. A long conference room. Windows like mirrors. 6 faces. They test judgment, numbers, and basic market sense. Why money today beats the same money later. Make a call on a company you admire. Why this bank? You hold eye contact through the part you do not fully know, then replay every answer until your brain stalls. The call comes. Offer. You graduate and move to New York City. The city meets you with a warm subway gust and a taxi horn in the same second. Your apartment is a shoebox with a window that stares at a brick wall. Your commute is a shove onto a packed train, laptop bag pressed to your ribs. By Midtown, you have already lost a layer of patience. Day 1 at JP Morgan. The blue logo hangs over the lobby like a verdict. Turnstiles blink, the elevator swallows sound, and your desk looks like every other desk on the floor. A managing director welcomes the class with smooth promises about serving clients, protecting the firm, and sweating details. The hours can be heavy during live deals. No one defines heavy. Compliance briefs you. Pass your licenses. Use approved channels. Assume everything can be reviewed. You nod and delete old chats. Your life shifts into your work inbox. You learn the style guide that rules the floor. Fonts and margins. Inputs in one color. Formulas in another. Links in a third. Never guess when you can check. Never leave stray labels. Never park a number where a link should live. Your first assignment is a pitch. Not a fee and not a mandate. A chance. You build comparison tables, polish logos, and write a market page that sounds strong and safe. The client might skim it for minutes. You live with it for days. A live deal hits. A founder wants to sell a niche software tool. You help build the long memo that explains the business. How revenue breaks by product, how long customers stay, and what they spend over time. You open a data room and number folders like gates at an airport. The questions log grows and pulls at your sleep. You try to eat like a normal person and fail. A sandwich lands on your desk and a comment turn arrives the same second. You chew while fixing a chart, then toss the rest when a meeting invite pops up. Every meal becomes a race. Friends ask for dinner and you cancel at the door when your phone buzzes. You start to say sorry with the same tone you use for "please see attached." Your first real mistake shows up at 2:41 in the morning. A lookup grabs the wrong row and a sensitivity table ripples across the page. A vice president catches it before a client call. Your stomach flips. You fix the link and build a control sheet that checks totals and flags errors. The model starts watching itself and you start checking your own hands. The office changes after midnight. Lights feel sharper, carpets louder. Bathroom mirrors are harsh and honest. Too many strands on the towel. You cut your hair shorter and tell yourself it is a style choice. Your scalp feels tight from caffeine and cold air. Sleep shows up in short stacks that never pay the debt. Recruiters start to message you. Everyone repeats the line. 2 years in banking, then private equity. You say it too. It feels like a promise stamped on your future. Weekends blur. Your phone never leaves your hand. You stop saying yes to birthdays and promise to make it up later. Later keeps moving. You learn triage. Fix numbers, then charts, then words, then fonts. A wrong decimal can set a room on fire and a wrong logo only singes. You put out fires no one sees. Bonus season lands with a number that looks good for your age and a deferred slice that feels like a string around your wrist. You are not rich. You own a salary you barely touch and a calendar that owns you. The rent drains your account and the commute drains your patience. You fly to a client and back to New York for a ballroom meeting. You set name cards, fix a tiny label, and write a 6-bullet summary your managing director forwards to a chief executive without edits. A vice president writes one word. Nice. You carry that word like a smooth coin. One night, the office restroom turns into a quiet confession booth. 2 analysts stand by the sinks with paper cups. An orange bottle shakes. Small tablets rattle. They split Adderall with a house key and snap modafinil in half. They talk about comment turns like weather. The trash bin is a graveyard of cold brew cans. The floor smells like peppermint soap and nerves. In the mirror, you see perfect haircuts, perfect suits, and smiles that look painted on. Everyone is a brand. Your life shrinks to surfaces you can control. The thickness of a suit lapel, the shine on a cap toe, the grain on a business card, ivory, eggshell, bone, raised letters that whisper status. Twice in 1 week you sleep in the office. A thin blanket from the drawer and a jacket over your face to dim the lights. The carpet leaves a pattern on your cheek that lasts until noon. You meet someone beautiful in a lobby bar on 6th Avenue after a client dinner that spilled into an apology. She is sharp and kind, and her parents are millionaires who want her life to have smooth edges. You walk through Central Park between calls. She waits outside your building with coffee. You run down to hug her and run back up when the calendar pings. Weeks pass, and the ratio tips. She says she sees you less than your laptop sees you. She asks for one uninterrupted weekend. You try. The phone pulls you back. She gives you a choice without raising her voice. A life together where dinner happens at dinner time, or your banking job. Money is not her problem. Time is. You think about how far you have come and how close private equity feels. You tell her you will move to the buy side soon, that it will be different, that you can build something huge. She says believing is not the same as being there. She leaves before your next meeting starts. 14 months in, your back protests and your pulse spikes when invites land without context. Printer chatter sounds like a showroom. Which card? Which watch? Which restaurant? Which serum? People trade brand names in the same tone they use for earnings. Everyone performs being fine. A board meeting lands on Monday, so Sunday becomes an office day. The printer jams at 7:10 and the copier eats 3 decks. You sprint to another floor and ride the elevator with books heavy enough to stop a door. The binders hit the table 5 minutes before the room fills. Slide 6 drives the conversation. The managing director uses your bullets word for word. A small typo on slide 14 dies quietly because the story holds. Months 18 through 22 are a double life. Comment turns by day and interview cases by night. You build paper buyouts at your kitchen counter with cold coffee while a siren drags past the window. Your commute becomes a moving study hall where you read filings with one hand on the pole. New York feels like it is daring you to fail and charging you for trying. Timmy texts late at night. The fund he knows is hiring. You send your materials and start the gauntlet. Break a company on paper and put it back together. What to keep, what to cut, how to steer through a bad quarter. You wait. The call comes. Offer. Private equity. Still New York. Different desk and different pace with the same pressure wearing a new suit. You stand in the J.P. Morgan kitchen with a coffee that tastes like cardboard and feel your shoulders drop a fraction. Not victory, relief with edges. You walk back to your desk, and your phone buzzes. Please fix. You fix a label, fix a link that colored the wrong cells green, and tighten a sensitivity so the numbers tell the truth faster. Dawn thins the dark over Midtown and the glass shows your face. Tired eyes and a calmer jaw. A hairline that tells its own version of your story. 2 years are over. The elevator doors close on the person who walked into the fair with a creased folder. They open on a new lobby with a different badge. You step into New York again and breathe like you mean it. If you enjoyed this video, make sure to like and subscribe.